hopefully you watched the recent video that I did, which talked about the most surprising albums of 2020, because if you did, you will know that Mr. Bladee was on that list with the album 333, because prior to that point I had been pretty negative about this guy, but this album did manage to sway me, and I did do a bit of a 180 on him. I guess you could say I was drained, as they say, but my opinion on his older stuff, the stuff that I never really liked, hasn't really changed all that much, and I just feel as though what he went for on 333 with the production, the way his vocals blended in with a lot of the instrumentals really nicely, even some of the lyrical themes actually, I just think it improved a lot upon what he'd done before. And here we have once again another album. This is like the third one in 2020, which isn't really surprising for Drain Gang. They're pretty they're pretty busy with their releases. There's always something around the corner. When you don't even expect it, you don't even know it's coming out, and yet suddenly it's like a Blade album's here. Oh, an Echo 2K the mixtape is here, or whatever. This time around, Blade is accompanied by Mechatok, who I believe produces this whole thing, and it's not particularly very long. You could even label it as an EP, but I think it is technically an album. But if you weren't a fan of this, then I guess it's not exactly taking too much of your time, because it's literally like 20 minutes. So you're not being held hostage for very long to say, you know, if you were coming out of this hating it. However, I am happy to say that once again, I am swayed by Blade. I do like this quite a lot. I think this is one of my favorite things that he's actually done, honestly. From the things that I've heard, from the projects that I've heard, yeah, this is definitely in like the top 2 now, which is probably not going to be a popular opinion, because I think so far people aren't as big on this as they like to have been, because it is much more of a happier release, you could call it. The tracks certainly don't go for the like sad boy aesthetic that they were going for previously. You could even label this, I'm sure many publications are gonna love to call this like emotive dance pop, or, you know, cry dance or some shit like that, because the production is really different for what I've heard from Blade before, which I'm really impressed with, because I think he rides this incredibly well to say it's pretty new and fresh. And to add to that point is that it really does sound fresh. Like, some of these beats are really impressive, and you know, you don't tend to hear stuff like this generally elsewhere, so hearing it here with Blade's voice accompanying it works like a charm. Rainbow, we need that shit to soundtrack Mario Kart right now. Could you imagine going around the circuit and this shit is playing? I think it would work pretty damn well. The trance synth-like work going on as well is super good. Like, the way this beat formulates, I just absolutely think is fantastic. It certainly feels very much indebted to the trance genre, but again, Blade's killing it with the vocals here. It's incredibly catchy and memorable as well, which I think is you know, really great to hear. Sun is much more subtle with its approach. This track doesn't have much of like a pop out, like there's nothing huge, you know, coming out of this track, nothing bursting at the seams like some of the other ones. But again, I think the instrumental is really, really colourful and dynamic, to the point where it isn't, you know, a dud in the track list. It actually is a nice track as well. And that's what I like about this album, is that Blade's vocals are just working so well across this entire thing. Like, even when, you know, you might not be totally enamored with the instrumental or whatever, you're at least taken aback by his voice, because it does sound really soft and delicate. That being said though, the track Drama is catchy as hell, man. This track just is instantaneous with how memorable it is. Despite the very in-your-face beat, the vibrance of the track, it still feels very much like a song he's done before, which is something I really like, because he's staying true to himself. Like, he's staying true to himself, his sound, and you know, his aesthetic, but he's still offering some beats here that we've never really heard him do. The track God has a fantastic hook though. All the way around, all the way around, all the way around. Sounds like a boy band type shit, honestly. Like, something straight out of the 90s. You could just imagine like Backstreet Boys doing this kind of hook. You do have the 2 tracks back to back, You and then Into You, which is good because they couldn't be more different, honestly. We have the You track, which is very lullaby-ish. This track is really comforting, honestly. It just feels like it's cushioning you as you're about to drift into a really lovely long sleep, which definitely is more suited to what we've heard from Bladee before. He's done stuff like this in the past, and even describing it the way I just did there reminds me of the way people tend to describe his music. People usually really love that aesthetic that he offers. But then Into You is absolutely fantastic. Jesus Christ, the beat breakdown on this track is stellar. Like, this is the best beat in my opinion on the whole thing, and that's tough competition because the beat on God and Drama were also really damn good. So to oh, and Rainbow too. So to have this track potentially being the best one is yeah, it's tough competition. This track to me is so damn creative with the structure. I really think the way this has been produced is absolutely top notch. Like, there couldn't have been a way that this beat could have been handled better, honestly. And again, these really soft, delicate vocals just go so well with it. Like, it makes it kind of like just a really like soft dance banger, which I think is really cool because the way these like 2 worlds collide with the vocals and the beat manages to match up incredibly well. I will say, with all the positives that I am throwing out there, that the final track really could have been stronger. The weight to this track just feels really empty. There's not a huge amount of power to it, and it's not in the same way that You is, where it does feel quite lullaby-ish and very soft. This track just doesn't have anything carrying it, and I'm not really you know, taken aback by any aspect of the song. I'm kind of just a bit like, That being said though, I really like this. Like, I think there's a huge amount of replayability about this album here, because again, it's so short. The tracks are pretty in and out. They don't overstay their welcome or anything like that. They're just the right length to keep you entertained and to keep you, again, you know, enamored with the way that the production is incredibly colorful. The vocals add a lot to the mix as well. Like, there's a lot to like here. Bladee changing things up ever so slightly to make you invested in seeing where he goes next. And it's a shame, again, because the reception so far has been a bit lukewarm considering the usual reception Bladee gets with a lot of his material. But yeah, I guess I'm not really in sync with the fan base in any way, so this actually ended up being really good to me. Really needed a stronger ending, but with that being said, 7.5 out of 10. Definitely an album that could be like an honorable mention by the end of the year, maybe even year-end list worthy, depending on, you know, when I put together that list and seeing where it could rank. But regardless, it's got a lot of replay value. So many great tracks here too. It's a lot of fun. That's all you can ask for. So thank you for watching this video and review. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully you enjoyed the album as well, liked it as much as me. Maybe you love it even more, but let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Do have a good day. Make sure you give it a like too. Try not to ratio me. I know what you Bladee fans are like. I know what you guys are like. Thank you for watching. Have a good day and goodbye.